San Francisco's Golden Gate. It's the gateway to the West Coast's largest estuary, with over 1,000 miles of waterways and a host of natural and scenic wonders. As the fifth busiest harbor in the United States, the San Francisco Bay region is home to 7 ports and 58 marine terminals. Each month, 11,000 vessels may transit the Central Bay. 85,000 small craft call the San Francisco Bay Area their home. The bay is also home to many fishing vessels, ferries and excursion vessels, construction vessels, tugs and barges, and a variety of motor, human, and wind-powered watercraft. Together, we're all safely sharing the bay. Join us for a mariner's view of San Francisco Bay and see how the bay is shared by all. Learn the common navigational rules for safe boating, how to safely maneuver your watercraft in a busy commercial port, and the importance of VHF radio communication. Together, we can make the bay safer for us all. Hours before arriving at the pilot station, the vessel's transit has been closely monitored by the Coast Guard's Vessel Traffic Service. VTS San Francisco was the first VTS established in the United States and is essential to navigational safety.
The mission of the VTS is to provide timely and accurate information to the mariner, and in doing so, help to facilitate safe navigation. The VTS uses a sophisticated network of radars, radios, and closed-circuit television cameras to collect information and to monitor vessels from the time that they check in until they reach their destination or depart the area. Teams of highly trained vessel traffic control specialists receive reports from mariners and provide traffic summaries and advisories about special operations, environmental conditions, sailing regattas or other marine events, and any other information pertinent to safe navigation. VTS San Francisco uses VHF FM Channel 12 for the offshore area and Channel 14 for inshore.
The Bay and Delta are very popular recreational areas. The region is home to more than 1,000 organized marine events per year. Good communication between all vessels, both large and small, is essential in avoiding navigational conflicts. Whether you are powerboating, fishing, or sailing, a responsible boater should know the navigational rules, also known as the rules of the road. For everyone's safety, one needs to keep a safe distance from all large ship traffic. Federal regulations on San Francisco Bay require small craft to stay at least 100 yards from many deep draft vessels at all times. Rule 9 of the Inland Navigation Rules simply states in part that one should not impede the right-of-way of large vessels. Large vessels transiting the bay can only use natural or dredged shipping channels because most of the bay is too shallow. Because of depth restrictions, large commercial ships cannot travel outside these shipping lanes. Within these lanes, all deep draft commercial vessels have the right-of-way. Whenever possible, avoid commercial shipping lanes and never anchor in a shipping lane. And don't underestimate the speed of a large vessel. When transiting the bay, most are traveling at about 15 knots. Be sure to allow ample clearance if you plan to cross in front of one. Small craft operators should also be deliberate and predictable when maneuvering their craft, so all intentions are clear to the large vessel. Knowing and following Rule 9 is the smart, courteous, and safe way to operate your boat on the bay. And it's the law. While observance of Rule 9 is essential to mariners' safety, so is proper VHF marine radio communication. Small craft operators should monitor VTS on Channel 14 and use Channel 13 to talk to the pilot of the ship or for any bridge-to-bridge communication, and use Channel 16 for making safety and distress calls. Remember that unlike small craft, large commercial vessels that are checked into VTS are not required to monitor VHF Channel 16. A cell phone may work for the user, but a pilot, master, or the Coast Guard has no way of contacting you. No one, such as a nearby boat, can hear you, and your position cannot be located by a radio direction finder if you are lost or in distress. The bay can experience a wide range of winds, currents, tides, and fog. Summertime in the Central Bay can become quite foggy. A sunny, pleasant day on the bay can quickly turn cold, windy, and damp. Reduced visibility due to dense fog is a major concern to mariners.
Every mariner should check the weather, the tides, and the current before heading out. Weather information can be accessed by TV, radio, or by VHF marine radio. And there's also several internet websites that you can check. Tidal differences in the bay can range plus or minus 8 feet, and currents can reach up to 6 knots at some locations. Winds can blow up to 35 knots at any time during the year, and gusts at over 70 knots have been recorded. Tide and current predictions can be found in NOAA's tide and current tables. These predictions don't include variations due to winds, storms, coastal surges, and river flow. Real-time information is available for the bay via the Physical Oceanographic Real-Time System, or PORTS for short. Wind, water temperatures, currents, and water level are updated every 6 minutes at 8 locations around the bay. The weather, the currents, and the tides are important to know before you go.
Before entering or getting underway on the bay, each large vessel is required to take on a pilot. The pilot has critical knowledge and navigational experience to safely and efficiently bring the vessel to its destination. Many of the ships in San Francisco Bay average about 60,000 tons of displacement and are 900 to 1,000 feet long. They have a very limited ability to stop and turn, and each ship handles and maneuvers differently, especially under changing conditions of current and draft restrictions. They may also have a draft of 40 to 50 feet, which severely restricts their maneuverability and where they can go.
It may look like a lot of water to navigate in, but it's often very crowded with other vessels, especially on good sailing days with hundreds of sailboats and windsurfers. Not everyone knows that from up here, I can't see right below the bow. Often the line of sight is obscured up to a mile ahead of the ship.
Because ships have limited maneuverability and visibility, close is quite a bit different for a large vessel than it is for a small one. There are a number of shipping lanes and anchorages throughout San Francisco Bay. They are often marked with one or more buoys or other aids to navigation. Large ships do not have a lot of room to maneuver inside the bay, and the channels become narrower and more shallow as you approach the port. For example, in San Pablo Bay, it may look like you have a lot of room in which to navigate. However, the majority of San Pablo Bay is only about 6 feet deep, and the dredged deepwater channel is the only place where a ship can transit. Here you can see why knowing Rule 9 is so important. These large vessels